Okay, most of you won't notice about me. Some of you will, but most of you won't. One of my biggest hobbies is writing, creative writing. So naturally, that lets me building my own writing space in Minecraft. And today, I want to show that space and show what I think is good about it, what I think is bad about it, and just look back on it. So right now, we're in a creative world that I have. This here is a palace, a woodland palace that I've been working on this year. It's unfinished. However, you can see it does have a bit of a roof over here because of this. That's because I thought it'd be really cool to build my sort of like my dream writing space where I would write all my stuff over here in this world, because I think it's just fitting in like this magical kind of like woodland palace. And that writing space is this box over here, which kind of sticks off and is somehow supported by this, which is pretty funny. Currently, this place is very unfinished, so there's no proper entrance to it. But when you enter, you kind of enter into like a small, boring room with some bamboo growing, which is nice. But when you go up, that's when it gets a bit more interesting. So this is the space. It's very magical, I would say, with the floating candles and the color palette. Immediately, one thing that I love about it is just the mix of the mangrove wood with the bamboo, which I think is such a nice mix for buildings. Mangrove, like the red mangrove wood with bamboo, and actually with birch wood as well. I think that's just a really nice combination in general. If we just ignore this thing over here, it looks a little strange and it looks a bit too techy to be in this fantasy world. I think this table is really great. Like an L-shaped table. It's got some candles, it's got like a book on it, and right here next to the chair is a lectern. I guess you could say this is where I'm actually writing the book itself. This little lamp, you've probably seen this on YouTube a million times. It's just a skeleton head on top of an end rod. It illuminates light. It's the base that illuminates light, not the actual skull itself. Another notable feature is this ginormous like ancient bookshelf. Originally my plan was to build a bit of a ladder here, but I couldn't quite get it to work on top of like the bookshelves. So instead, I built the ladder over here. You know what? There's a small sleeping space here as well, which is nice. Got these lights hanging from here, and these kind of like magical lights in the corners, which illuminates the place. Got an interesting roof with like the dark oak and the note blocks, which I think is really nice. The candles, like these floating cyan candles, not only does the color fit very well, I think, these give it such a magical vibe, which is exactly what I was going for. It's pretty cool considering the fact that some of the stuff that I've been writing recently is fantasy based. It's in a fantasy world, a fantasy earth world. I also think that these green windows over here were a really nice touch. It gives in a lot of sunlight. It's grand. It looks magical. I like the way it looks. The green works really well with everything else in here. This over here is a little strange. I can't quite tell what it is. I guess it's like some detail on the walls. I guess I was thinking that it could look a bit like magical as well, but it just looks a bit out of place. Maybe if I could make it blend with the birch wood a lot better, with like some kind of like, maybe like a green block, I think that would be pretty nice. But for now it's just a weird color on the wall. What I think I could have done a lot better with this space though, is made it bigger, because honestly, it's a pretty small writing space. You would think that like an ideal writing space would be in like a library of some kind. There's literally just one bookshelf in here. So what if this was like 4 times the size and the windows were a lot larger, so that way I could make a lot more shelves here with the books? I think that would be a really good idea. If we go up, there's just an attic up here. The reason why I put glow lichen because it looks like something's like some kind of like vegetation has got the better of this place. But I have no plans for this. I guess maybe I could just store some stuff here, but no specific plans for this area. Look at that, it's becoming night, which is pretty nice because this place looks pretty nice at night. I want to talk about the outside because I think that this outside design looks really well. This here just looks a lot more structurally sound with the roof, because the roof looks very heavy. What is it? It's made out of like deep slate. No, not deep slate. That's black stone, which I think is a heavy block by lore, and it looks heavy, so it looks well supported by these columns and this here. This kind of like cursed X down here, I think is a really nice touch because it makes it look a bit more fantasy. Squiggly lines, because in fantasy worlds it's usually not just straight lines. And those two windows look really nice from the outside. They kind of complement each other. They complement the mangrove wood and the birch wood really nicely. I think it does look a bit unrealistic because I don't expect this here to hold up this entire structure this well. Let's just pretend that somehow the gravity just works different in this world, I guess. The whole rest of this build is kind of just coming along. I've been working on this very rarely now. I spent maybe like one weekend, when I was available earlier in the year, working on this. Then from then on, I've just been like coming in every once in a while and just adding like a window or adding a color or something. Of course, I don't have much time to work on this. I will make a video in the future once I finish this build. It might be a long time from now, but once I finish this build, I will make a video just exploring the whole thing and just exploring my thought process on the build. So, stay tuned for that if you want to see that. Well, that was probably everything I could really say about this writing space. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. See you later. Goodbye.